Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I think out of these first four Harry Potter films, I do think this is the best one. I think it really expands the mythology and it goes to dark places I wouldn't think this series would go to. Killing off Cedric was crazy. I mean, he obviously looks nothing like what Robert Pattinson looks like now, obviously, back when he was probably 17, 18. But anyways, I think, that was crazy that they killed him off. But it's crazy because, he's not, a typical jock type character. He's actually pretty nice to Harry. And so I think his death, honestly, I felt some emotion towards his death. And that final part with Voldemort was great. Voldemort looks so creepy. And, having that duel in the cemetery was great stuff, but it was also just great expanding the characters and the character motivations and giving these characters development with the whole dance and Hermione being mad at them and then Ron being mad at Harry because he thinks that Harry put his name in the goblet without telling him, and so I think how they developed the characters are great on top of that kind of great kind of Hunger Games-y feel of fantasy, trying to stop the dragons, and that water challenge. I think that one water challenge was great. That was really cool. I really enjoyed the water challenge where they have to save the people, but he can only save one person. And the maze was cool. Again, that dragon sequence was cool. I still think that duel between Voldemort and Harry was so cool. I'd say visually, and just in general, I think that's probably my favorite scene of the film. But the stuff with that the new professor of dark arts, that guy with the one eye, I think that was interesting. I think they did resolve that pretty quickly. I feel when they go towards that ending of the film, they resolve things pretty quickly. Honestly, throughout them, especially with that stuff with this the doctor. The guy with the weird eye, the professor. I've always been sketchy of him, so it turns out that that's not actually the professor for most of the time. So I think that was an interesting, reveal. I think it was clever how Harry figured it out about the whole. I didn't tell you about the graveyard. So that was cool, and I think the reveal of Lucius Malfoy being one of the Dementors, I think was a cool. Or not Dementors. One of the Voldemort followers. That was cool. I think the opening. I'm thinking of. No, never mind. Forget that the thing about it I was about to say. But yeah, I think that was that. The whole film was cool. I think that the opening with all the fire people, the whole town, getting lit on fire. There's a lot of great moments flooded throughout this film. A lot of great moments, I think, to make it just a cohesively great film, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, I think another part that I really like would be, I think just them kind of getting ready in the prep work for the match was cool. I just think this film's just so cool and so epic on scope, and I think it's very much unlike any other Harry Potter film. That is, I feel is the other films were on a lot smaller of a scale, but yet you can feel they're building towards something, and this was that build-up. This was that build-up where Harry finally meets Voldemort, finally has to fight Voldemort, and seeing, someone die. Because let's be honest, before the series, it was oh, Harry saved Hogwarts again, but this is this changed. This changes everything, and so that was cool. I think him getting the cut. I just think I love when Voldemort's the spell to not the boy who you can't touch. You can't touch Harry, and then when he does, when he's things are changed, I can touch him, and then it's not he punched him or anything. He just goes simply with one thing, touches him, but he does it in a way. He's boop, and it's great. The stuff with Voldemort was great, and I think introducing Voldemort in this film was great because it's like this was what you kind of built up through the first, 3 films. So seeing him come out was great. And like I said, I already said this, but the dragon sequence was great. And I said the character development was also top notch. I think instead of them just being like, oh, the trio of characters always solving mysteries together, this is a lot different because they're kind of diverging in their own path. Kind of having their own emotions that we didn't really see before. And I think having that cameo by Sirius Black was great. They didn't have him in them. Have him in the film, probably, if I had to guess, because he probably was filming Batman Begins. Wait, what year? This was 2005. So yeah, maybe Batman Begins. But that was still cool to see, the fire version of him, whatever. But yeah, I just like the involving mystery there, unrevealing, kind of threat is beyond exciting, beyond interesting and intriguing. And after this film, I have 4 more films left. Right now, I have like a little bit less than an hour left of Order of the Phoenix, and I think like I'll get to that on my review for that film. I guess I'm not done with it yet, but after this review, I'll be all caught up with my Harry Potter reviews. So yeah, but yeah, I just enjoyed the film. Through and through. I think the whole, beginning of like the Team World Cup, whatever. That there was, Hermione going out with that other guy. All that stuff was great because I think like you kind of detail everything that would make this series kind of work. Would be like the characters, would be the great fantasy storytelling, the build up, and it's still leaving you with the cliffhanger, building and building up upon everything, prior. And Harry kind of feeling like a hero when he gets the egg and then has to go to the bath, and Myrtle's there. I forgot last time when I did my Sorcerer's Stone review, Chamber of Secrets review, I totally forgot what that girl ghost is called. Myrtle, the ghost of Myrtle. So I guess my point is that this film feels like it's not the payoff, because the payoff should be Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, but it feels kind of like that culmination of getting towards that moment, getting towards that part, because I said that for for Chamber of Secrets and what's its face, Sorcerer's Stone, I always felt like those two were on a lot smaller scale that is kind of building up mythology for the previous films. This kind of expands on that extensionally by giving the plot of the franchise even more and more and more and more and more depth going forward. And I think just the kind of battle style thing, in the ocean, picking like the little fins, I think it was all great. I think the stuff they detailed in this film really makes this franchise pop and I think be unique. Because I had said that with Chamber of Secrets that film felt very much too similar to Sorcerer's Stone, and I think Prisoner of Azkaban definitely evolved on that and made it feel unique, made it feel very different. But I feel like this film gave it its own touch, made it a film that really made it not feel like a fantasy teen school film to a Wizarding World extravaganza fantasy character development, dark horror film, fantasy, all of that stuff. It felt like it evolved on what we had previously known about this franchise and took all of that to that next level. And having the professor spy on Malfoy, I think it gaps a lot of things from previous films, but also, like I said, leaves the door open for a bunch of other cool things. And I like this idea of like the tri-cup or whatever, and that girl who's taking notes, and then the girl who who Harry asks out, but is too scared or whatever. Not too scared, but has someone else. Cedric was her date, and then obviously what happened with Cedric. And so far, what I've seen in Goblet of Fire, they definitely expand on that, and I do enjoy that part of it. So yeah, stay tuned for videos coming at you.